So one of the first things that I would like to talk, or I want to talk about, is the Oregon militia in the States. A bunch of people. Now, I've done very little reading on this, so I really am uneducated and shouldn't be commenting. But from my viewpoint, and please correct me if I'm wrong, there's a bunch of guys in Oregon who are a bit pissed at the government for whatever reason. And because it says in the Constitution that, or is it the Second Amendment? I know they keep referencing the Second Amendment, that you're not allowed to take the people's guns because they need to have a well-regulated militia. And so a bunch of guys have taken that to heart and declared themselves a militia and have taken over a government building and are demanding some stuff. I haven't even done the research to find out what said stuff is, but I do like the fact that the government have already said, look, we're just going to turn the power off. They'll freeze because they haven't planned ahead. But they've all got their assault rifles and their guns. And the thing is, the government can't go in with guns because they're being watched. The whole world is watching America's gun problems at the moment. The president is saying we need better gun control. We've had too many massacres, too many shootouts. The people are saying we need better gun control. A lot of people reference here in Australia, our gun laws and the fact that we don't have those kind of shootings. My theory being that the reason why we don't have those shootings is because of our mentality. It's just a different mindset here. I don't think it's better or worse, but it's just a different mindset. We're just not a gun culture. We just don't have guns around. But the government can't go in. They can't go in and try and forcefully take these guys out because these guys will start shooting. These guys feel that they are above the law. They feel the government have screwed up, not done their job, and so the government is wrong. And that means that the people have said, well, we've read the Constitution, we've read all the things our forefathers, remembering the forefathers of America were fighting the government as well, or had fought the government. It's in the American psyche and in the ideal version of an American, the image that they look to be and look to be like. It's in their image and their psyche to be this ideal American, which is to fight against the government. And that's all well and good, but in this instance, the government aren't going to fight. They're going to do this peacefully. They're going to let them just sit there and starve until this whole thing fizzles out. Although, I kind of would like to see, and not because of the loss of life, that would not be good, but I would like to see a Waco, Texas situation happen, minus the loss of life, because that would set America off. That would be the divider. People would go nuts. There's a very, very good comic series called DMZ. I recommend it highly. It's one of my favourites. And in that comic series, the United States is having a second civil war, and there's the United States versus the Free States. And I believe that's what would happen. The government would go in, Waco style, try and get them out. There'd be a bit of a shootout, and then all of a sudden, that militia group, Mormon militia, if I remember correctly, from what I've read recently, that group would be instantly inundated with new members. Because everyone out there would just be like, no, that's wrong, bang, and they'd be on team. And America would slowly implode. And it would be a great historical event for the rest of the world. As far as humanity goes, it would be a historical event. The loss of life, the destruction would all be terrible, but we've had that before. It's like being able to say, I lived through World War II. That was a big humanity event, historical event. And this would be another huge event. And America would just implode. And the rest of the world would just have to watch. Because I don't think anyone would go in to support. Maybe, I was going to say maybe the Russians would go in to support the Free States, but they're not going to do that. The Free States are going to say, no, we don't need you Russians, because they don't like the Russians. So it would be incredibly interesting to see how it played out. Again, the loss of life would be terrible. To watch any place, any country, any group of people implode and kill themselves is not. Civil war always seems to be an even worse loss of life than war. To a certain degree, I feel that you can justify some wars. Wait for me to finish this. You can justify America going over to Europe to stop Hitler. Australians too. You can justify that kind of war. Obviously, you put the blame on Hitler and say what the hell, or the German High Command in general, and say what the hell were you doing starting this thing? But you can somewhat justify the rest of the world going over to get involved. You can't justify invading countries. That never seems to be acceptable. It's always a hard, maybe you shouldn't have done that. But civil war just seems like, guys, why couldn't we sit down and have a drink and discuss this and work this out? Why couldn't we? So it would be terrible if the United States imploded, but it would be amazing to be able to say I was there, I was alive for that, and I watched it unfold. To a certain degree, I hope we don't see, or I don't see it unfold, but I feel a little bit like it might happen. If things go, if the government try to go in and get that militia, then I feel like that could be where it goes. But I don't think they will, because that's, as I said, everyone's watching. It's a worldwide media these days, and the world is watching that militia to see what happens. And they'll just wait them out. They'll turn the power off. They'll put a blockade around them. Send a note in saying these are the conditions with which you will come out. Guns down, hands up. Apart from that, we're not doing anything. We're just going to sit here. And they'll sit behind bulletproof protection so that the militia can't even shoot them. And they'll just say, no, you can't. There'll be a fence around it, a perimeter. They'll just starve them out like medieval times. Get around the castle, put a wall up, stop food going in, stop people coming in and out, and bang, starve them. It's that simple. The Daily Freakout number 1. Done. Hopefully, we'll see. If you like it, give me a shout, bobbyfreakout@gmail.com. Leave a comment, rate, review, all the kind of stuff. If you listen to any kind of podcast or YouTube video, you know what to do. Let me know what you think. Is this worth doing more of or not? I don't know. You tell me. Thank you very much.